One of the most dangerous things you can do as a team is overlook a team that has nothing to lose. And honestly, that's what Dallas did tonight. Vikings had nothing left to lose. They were officially eliminated from the playoffs today. Nothing was going to go right for them the rest of the way. I mean, again, another big topic for them, at least, is where has Justin Jefferson been the last 3 weeks? Again, kind of a no-show tonight, although there was a couple balls he kind of dropped. I think he only had a couple catches tonight. I'm not sure. But honestly, they didn't need it. J.J. McCarthy, though, great game from him tonight. Cowboys lose. They're 6-7-1. There's still a very slim, very, very slim 1% chance for them to make the playoffs. But let's be honest here. Philadelphia is playing a battered Washington team twice. There's no way they're losing to this team. You're probably going to lose to Buffalo, yes, potentially, especially since you're going on the road to Buffalo. But let's be honest, you're not losing to Washington twice. I don't see it happening, especially in Philadelphia. With no Jaden Daniels, their defense is injured to hell and back. I don't see that happening. So, unfortunately, Cowboys fans, we have to accept the realization that tonight we got eliminated from the playoffs. Even though technically we didn't, tonight we got eliminated. And it's unfortunate because there was so much to like the last 3 weeks, and there was so much hope given to this team. And this is what the Cowboys do, right? You know, they play well against great competition. You know, you beat Kansas City on Thanksgiving. You beat the Eagles the week prior. You know, you get a big, the Raiders are the Raiders, so you don't really have to throw them in the mix. But then last Thursday night, you see the cracks, especially in their secondary. You see Detroit kind of exploit that. And then, J.J. McCarthy, who, overall hasn't had a great year, but has played his best football the last 2 to 3 weeks. He had a great game tonight too. So, I mean, there's still a lot to love. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot to look forward to going through the future. Obviously, the offensive line has to get healthy. And honestly, you could say this about both teams, both the Vikings and the Cowboys. I really do think these two teams are kind of mirror images of each other, just in certain aspects. Like the Vikings defense, they've got a lot of veteran presence. They are a really tenacious defense, as you saw tonight. That is probably the best part of their group. You can add a couple pieces to that, and it'll be probably an elite defense, especially if Flores continues to coach. They got to figure some stuff out on the offensive line. Honestly, obviously, Christian Darrisaw being out again tonight, although their backup left tackle didn't have a bad game tonight. So, they're still going to have problems with the offensive line. The connection between J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson has to get fixed. If they can figure that out, this team is going to be dangerous going on. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people thought was going to happen this year, and why a lot of people predicted the Vikings to win the NFC North this year. But there's a lot to like with the Vikings. There's a lot to like with the Cowboys at the same way. Again, offensive line needs to get healthy. Maybe add another piece or two here or there to help with depth. And then the secondary. The secondary needs to get healthy. And if I'm Jerry Jones, it's time to move off Trayvon Diggs. It really is. I know he's a good corner, solid corner. Had that breakout year a couple years ago where he had 11 interceptions. But he also gave up a ton of yards. He gets beat a lot. And we still don't know the extent of what happened when he got concussed all those weeks ago. We still don't know the extent of what happened. It seemed like he was going to get activated for tonight's game, But then all of a sudden, word came out yesterday that Diggs decided that he did not want to play in this game, and he got shut down. So apparently the team is very sour on him now. It's not looking good. I would expect, probably in the offseason he's going to get traded or maybe let go. I don't see them letting Diggs go because that's just a huge cap hit for them. But I can see them maybe trying to see if they can find a suitable trade partner for Trayvon. So I think his days in Dallas are done. I like the front seven. The front seven's okay. I'm done with the Kenneth Murray experiment. I don't want him here, honestly. And as an Oklahoma fan, that hurts me because, I remember watching Kenneth Murray back when he was in college. He was a really solid linebacker, but I can't have him on this team. He's just too slow. He's too slow. And I don't like how they're playing DeMarvion Overshown. I think you need to have him get a little bit more active as far as blitzing or squaring up with the running backs and what have you. Logan Wilson's fine. Obviously, with the front seven, with the defensive line, it's gotten better. I think you need to maybe go edge rusher, maybe get another edge rusher in the room, see how that does. But secondary definitely has to be fixed. Because that secondary, man, it is hard to watch at times. Like, Kalen Carson, I think, has regressed a lot. I liked what I saw from Chavon Ravel tonight. I think he played well. Obviously, Deron Bland played a great game tonight, shutting down Justin Jefferson. You still got guys like Josh Butler who are still hurt. Defense secondary wise, Cowboys are just too beat up. But yeah, these two teams are kind of mirror images of each other. And if these two teams in the offseason, they make a couple moves here and there. Both of these teams, the Vikings and the Cowboys, can both be in that playoff mix. But I'm telling you guys, this NFC, the NFC, it's like almost like the conferences did a complete 180 in a way. Because now you're starting to see some of the AFC teams regress a little bit. Obviously, Kansas City was eliminated tonight. Chargers are still good. Broncos have an elite defense. The Bills are still going to be the Bills. But now you're seeing the Patriots take over. You're starting to see the Texans come back to fruition. The Jaguars, who are probably the biggest surprise this year. But then you look at the NFC, 10 wins is not going to get you into the playoffs if you're an NFC team looking for a wild card spot. 10 wins is not going to get you into the postseason because right now the Packers are 9-4-1 and they're the 7th seed. And I know they lost Micah today, but they still are good enough to hold on to that final wild card spot. I don't see one of these wild card teams not having double-digit wins this year, which is insane to even think about with the NFC because, Seattle's been great. Rams have been great. 49ers, through all the duct tape and glue, they've been great. NFC is going to be tough this year. It's going to be an exciting postseason to see how this NFC shapes out, but going over some of the stats from tonight, J.J. McCarthy tonight, 15-24, 250 yards. Did have the early pick, which was crazy, but came back, had a great game, 2 touchdowns on the night. Aaron Jones, 12 for 34. Jordan Mason, 10 for 29. McCarthy did have the rushing touchdown as well, so he had 3 total touchdowns tonight. Jordan Addison, 2 for 66. T.J. Hockenson, 4 for 66. Justin Jefferson only 2 for 22. Like I said, they need to get that thing figured out because that's a little scary. If I'm the Vikings, like if you figure that out, if you figure that connection out between Justin Jefferson and JJ McCarthy, with the way McCarthy's playing right now, this will be a dangerous team in 2026. It really will be. I think if they figure that out, they're going to be golden going into next year. Prescott tonight, 23 23 of 38, 294. No touchdowns, no picks, was sacked twice. He's pressured a lot in this game. Javonte, big night for him, actually. 15 for 91 and a touchdown. Did go out in the second quarter. And, came back and played very well in that second half. Malik Davis did have a touchdown rush in regards. CD, 6 for 111 yards. Great game from him. Brian Flournoy, 4 for 41. George Pickens, only 3 for 33. Not the best game. Obviously, the media attention, has been weighing on his mind. Not much of an impact tonight, but, we'll see how it goes within the next few weeks if he can pick it up or not. And if he doesn't, then there might be a discussion on whether or not they keep Pickens or not, which I think they still should because he's just been phenomenal this year. Hey, can't fault him from that. Hey, it was a great game though, Danny. It was a great game. And remember, the last time the Patriots did play the Bills before today, they did beat them. So they beat them in Buffalo. So that's a 1-1 split at this point. So I'm not faulting the Patriots for that loss today. I think they're still a team that can play very well into the AFC playoffs. And speaking of the Patriots, we got our
just move on, please. No hope for the Patriots.
No, I had to, Scott. My hope died tonight.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that you could talk about with the Cowboys. Patriots, too. Mm-hmm. Second half, Drake May has 30 yards passing maybe in the second half after he dominated the first half. It's just a bad offensive performance by them in the second half. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. You can never get too high or too low in this league. You can take it down very quickly in 1 week. And sure enough, the Patriots 10-game winning streak in this week gave up 35. Buffalo was a good team, but they only got Josh Allen after that. James Cook is pretty good, but after that, their receiving core is terrible. It's just it's almost on the level of a Minnesota receiving core. So they need to figure things out because they're 11-3, which everybody would think, oh, you should be excited. Well, it was a lot of problems today.
And now Denver has full control of the number 1 seed too.
Yeah, and it's the worst place you want to go to play a playoff game is in Denver at home against them. So
yeah. And I said this earlier, Scott. I don't know how you would. I'd see a lot of similarities with the Vikings and Cowboys in terms of, there are a couple pieces away in certain spots where both teams can, because essentially both teams are out of the playoffs after tonight. But both of these two teams, we're going to be talking about them next season as teams that, in a very loaded NFC can still be players.
Not Minnesota. If J.J. McCarthy's a starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, Dallas' secondary is hit or miss. You know that.
Yeah. I think him and Justin Jefferson just need to get on the same page. If those two can get on the same page and he can start getting him the ball a lot more and, Justin Jefferson gets back to the way he was, I think they'll be fine. But I don't know.
Jalen Nailor beat the Cowboys tonight. Well, the Cowboys beat themselves. But on the Minnesota side, Jalen Nailor had 2 touchdowns. You can't do that if you're the Cowboys. He's the number 3 receiver. You can't. You just can't. If it's Addison, okay. If it's Hawkinson, okay. If it's Jefferson, okay. Nailor, he hasn't done anything all year, and now he pops up with 2 touchdowns. So, to me, McCarthy, and again, I agree with you, McCarthy and Jefferson need to get on the same page. It's like a lot of duos. I mean, A.J. Brown today had a poor game against Las Vegas. He caught a touchdown pass. I get that. But he didn't do anything except in the third quarter. So a lot of these stud receivers need to get on the same page with their quarterback. If they don't, they're in trouble. So, I mean, you can look all around the league.
Yeah, Pickens only had 33 yards tonight. He was kind of.
That's the problem. Why are you going to Malik Davis Why are you going to Ryan Flournoy? Why are you going? Has Dak lost confidence in Pickens? I'm
I think it's just the Minnesota pass rush got to him a lot tonight. Like every time I looked up, is literally there's a defender in his face. And when they lost their left tackle, Thomas, I was like, oh yeah, we're screwed.
so I I don't know if I gave it on lock it in or not. I don't think I did. Minnesota is not giving up passing touchdown in 5 straight games now. 5 straight games.
Mhm.
So the way to beat them is with defense and a great running game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Dallas is either one right now.
I
Javante's
mean,
been solid.
Javante had 91 yards. I'm surprised they didn't give it to him more tonight.
Right. That's the thing. Schottenheimer called a very bad game tonight, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've said this in the past, but I'm gonna change and go with 360. Is Brendan Aubrey really a help to the Cowboys? Because the offense gets conservative when they get around midfield, knowing, oh, we got Brendan Aubrey. If we don't get the first down, we'll just send him out. We'll kick a field goal. They had 6 field goal attempts tonight. 6. He hit 4. That's not good. That means your offense is playing very conservatively and you're not attacking. You got CD Lamb, you got George Pickens. Flournoy's been great. You got Jake Ferguson, and you're not attacking.
Ferguson was quiet all night
Yeah,
tonight.
he
I think
was.
he only had
Pickens
one
was
catch.
too. Pickens was too until he caught 2 passes in the last drive. I mean, where is this guy gone? I mean, that's my vote of contention. Where's the Pickens that we saw? If I'm a receiver in the NFL and I get called out for my lack of energy, the next game that I'm playing, I'm going off. And Pickens did not do that tonight. And Minnesota's a great defense. I get that. But if I'm George Pickens, I go off tonight. I catch about 7 balls for 110 yards and a touchdown or 2. And he didn't do that. And Dak looks like he's lost confidence in him. Because I caught some of the game on my phone. And it didn't look like Dak wanted to go to him at times in the game. He was happy going to Malik Davis. He was happy going to Ryan Flournoy. He was happy going to Luke Schoonmaker. He was happy going to CD Lamb. Didn't look like he wanted to go to George Pickens that much. So I have some questions about Pickens down the stretch here and what he does. Because he's fighting for a contract right now.
Yep.
So
You got 3 games to do it. You got the Chargers next
Yep.
week. You got the Commanders, and you've got the Giants. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see how they feel. I said this earlier too, Scott. I'll want to get your thoughts. I think Trayvon Diggs is done in Dallas. Like I said this in our group chat. I said this pretty much everywhere I can except for TikTok at this point. Diggs opting out of playing tonight tells me he's done with Dallas.
yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
And we still don't know what happened to him all those weeks ago when he was put on IR for a concussion. We don't know what happened.
His teammates don't want him back. Won't want him back. He basically said, nah, I don't feel like playing tonight.
You know why, Scott? Because he crashed out whenever Micah was traded.
Yes.
He stopped caring. He stopped caring. Let's just call it what it is. He stopped caring the moment Micah got traded.
Yeah, I would agree. I 100% agree, which means that you need to get rid of him. I mean, you're paying this guy millions of dollars to play a game. It's a game. It's their job, but it's a game too, and he doesn't want to play. So, yeah, Michael, I think he needs to either. I don't think they can cut him. They'd have to eat a lot of that money, but they can trade him, and I don't know what team would want him. To be honest with you, if they
Trade him to Green Bay, I guess.
do they want him?
I don't know.
That's the thing. Who wants him? I mean, when a guy quits on a team, there's not a lot of GMs that are willing to take this risk. So I'd be interested to see what Jerry Jones could pull off here to get him out of Dallas. So
yeah, because so far it just doesn't feel like he fits the team anymore. Because you have a new leadership voice on the defense in Quentin Williams, which that kind of takes Diggs out of that role now. which I don't know if he was much of a leader to begin with, to be honest. But your front seven's okay. I would say maybe ditch Kenneth Murray, but you really need to figure out the secondary. Other than Bland, you really need to figure out the secondary.
Right. I think they need to figure out a lot on defense. I personally think Eberflus is not the answer as a coach. I think they need to look someplace else for a defensive coordinator. I just don't think Eberflus is a good coach at all. To be honest, I thought he didn't start out well. Then he hit his stride, and now it's back to the early season Dallas Cowboys defense, and it's not good. So
And if you can't do that with having three great interior pass rushers, there's a problem.
yeah, agreed. I would
Like
agree with you.
I get it. Your secondary's injured to hell and back, but you're half the time you're not even running. I don't understand why they don't do this 5-man front all game. Like every time they had that 5-man front out there, they got pressure and made JJ McCarthy uncomfortable.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know
more,
why. I don't know why you don't keep doing that.
I think it's more of a curveball look than it is anything. I don't think Eberflus is comfortable running it. So I think he's like, let me just throw it on this play and see what happens, and then I'll take it off, and then I'll throw it back later, and I'll take it off. Well, if it's
Say,
working, you need to stick with it. So
and then I don't know why, because the strength of your defense is interior pass rush. The
yes,
most players you have healthy on that defense are your interior defensive linemen. And it's not just the three guys I mentioned either. It's Solomon Thomas, who's also there, Perrion Winfrey, who's coming off of injury. You've got guys you can rotate in there. Hell, you could throw, Fowler or Clowney or whoever in that interior, and they'll still get a rush in there.
yeah.
I
I mean,
don't understand it.
I would agree. I just think that the Eberflus second guesses himself, and I think in the offseason that should be the first move they make is to fire him or walk away and look for a defensive coordinator that can come in and do a better job than this guy can do. Because there's a ton of guys out there that could come in and do a better job than him with the talent that they have on defense.
Yeah. I'm definitely keeping Shoddy for sure because I think he's done a fantastic job as a head coach. Um, I like the energy he's brought to the team. I think the guys have rallied behind his message. Um, it's something that we haven't really seen in Dallas as far as a head coach since Bill Parcells,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm okay with keeping Shoddy. And I agree with you. I think Eberflus needs to go after the season's over.
Yeah, I think they need to look at their whole coaching staff. Um, they need to. I would. Pickens the question is Pickens the answer on offense? And if he's the answer, then I think you need to pay him like he is the answer. I don't know if they think he's the answer. They're talking about franchising the guy and not paying him a long term deal. So if you franchise him, you're basically saying, well, we kind of don't know if he's the answer. We need to see him another year. So I think they need to make some kind of commitment to Pickens because if they don't and he gets away, that's trouble. That's
I,
trouble for the offense.
yeah, I think it would be bad for Pickens too because if he goes anywhere else, I think he just reverts back to his Pittsburgh days. Like I think him being in Dallas with another number one like a CeeDee Lamb and a quarterback like Dak Prescott helps his mentality a lot. And we've seen it throughout the season. He's played great this year.
Up until the last game and a
Um,
half.
but yeah, exactly. So
When CD went out, he didn't show up, and he needed to.
it's all about the quarterback. It's all about the team around you and
Yes.
the mentality. I think guys on the team, they're still going to support him no matter what, but they're also going to be like, hey, if you're going to be a part of this, you need to be a part of it.
Yeah, and my personal opinion is Dak needs to get confidence back in him again because I don't know how much confidence he has throwing to him because the game was over when the last drive. They're down 11. They're not going to win the game. Okay, they kicked the field goal. Onside kick is hard to get. So Pickens got 2 catches in the last drive. But before that, he was 1 for 10 the whole night. And he's throwing to other guys. So I don't know how much confidence he has in him right now. He needs to re-get that back again. They need to do some extra work at the end of practice. I know they're on the cliff. They're just about ready to go off of it in terms of playoffs. Nobody thinks they're making it now. So I think they need to start working for the 2026 season and beyond, which means Pickens needs to get on the same page as Dak like soon. So
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how both of these teams kind of go in. Minnesota can continue to play spoiler throughout most of the year. I know they have a matchup with Detroit here in a couple weeks. They can continue to play spoiler a little bit. They got the Giants next week, which that's a throwaway game. Giants are probably going to try to lose that game anyway, so they can keep the number 1 pick. But if you're Minnesota, you have home games finishing out against both Detroit and Green Bay, which now Mike is out for the remainder of the year and may miss a good chunk of next year. You see Minnesota maybe playing spoiler against these two teams here at the end of the year?
Green Bay, no. Detroit, yes. I think they could beat Detroit. Their defense is awful. It's bad. I mean, the Rams just took them apart today. So I think they can beat Detroit in a high-scoring game. They beat them once already. They beat them at Detroit, so they can beat them. I think Green Bay's just offensively just on another. They're on another level right now. They're playing really well. Defensively, I got some questions. Offensively, I like where they're at right now. Jordan Love's turned into a different quarterback the end of this season. So,
Hey, just because they lose Denny doesn't mean my fandom's going to go away. Although I'm going to be more realistic than most Cowboy fans really are. So,
yes, true.
I think it's also because I don't, unlike most Cowboy fans, I also do not cheer for the Yankees or the Lakers. So I think that's part of it too. Because if you notice, a lot of the most annoying Cowboy fans are also Lakers and Yankees fans. So,
yep.
That's just how it is. That's just how it is.
I would agree.
Yeah. Cowboys here, 2 teams in their division left, but both of those teams are bad. You got Washington in Washington on Christmas Day. And then again, the Giants, who are probably going to try to lose to keep the number 1 pick. But even if they are eliminated, which if the Eagles do win on Saturday, they will officially be eliminated. You can still play spoiler next Sunday when you play the Chargers. So there's potential in that. I see them at the very least winning the last 2 games. I'm not sure about the Chargers game now, but you can still play spoiler at that regard.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And you want to finish above 500 too. That's the other thing. You don't have a losing season. So Dallas they're not sitting anybody. They're going to try to win 2 of the last 3. And at least if Philly happens to lose Saturday, which is highly possible, they have problems against Washington at times.
Mm-hmm.
Then that opens the door for Dallas this weekend to win and to stay in it. So we'll see. Plus they're playing at home against the Chargers. You really think that Jerry's gonna say, "Okay, Dak, you're sitting for the rest of the season. KCD, play a half, and then you're nah, I don't. Not at home. Not at home." So
nope. Well, looking at the playoff pictures here, real quick: Broncos, Rams, both teams clinched playoff spots today. Looking at the AFC, Broncos lead. The AFC, they're the top seed. Obviously, your Patriots are still sitting there at number 2, even with the loss today. Jaguars, probably the surprise team of the year right now, 10-4, sitting at the 3 seed. Steelers at 7-6 have the 4 seed, and it's only because the AFC North is just god awful. They play tomorrow night, by the way, against Miami, who has very, very, very slim hopes of being a playoff team. If you think Dallas's playoff hopes are bad after tonight, Miami's are like even worse. They need a lot to happen. Plus, they need to win out basically.
Yep.
And then your wild card teams: Chargers, Bills, and Texans. Which the Colts on the outside looking in, suffering their third straight loss again tonight. So
Yeah, they're done. They're not going to make the playoffs. They got to play San Francisco Monday night. That's not good.
no.
So
Speaking of which, NFC side, Rams 11-3. Big matchup with Seattle on Thursday night. That essentially is for the number one seed in the NFC at this point. Chicago with the big win today. They're back in the number 2 spot. Eagles, had a get right game against a really bad Raiders team. They're solidified a number 3 spot. Tampa Bay's back in the mix here. They're currently the 4 seed after Carolina screwed the pooch today against the Saints. Again, I think you and Tanner called it on Lock It In this morning, Scott, where Carolina has not covered when they've been a favorite this year.
no, they've. When were they a favorite last? Before New Orleans, the first game. I think 12 years was the last time. Some strange thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
When they're a favorite, don't bet them. Don't bet them. Stay away. If you want to stay away from the game, fine. But I would never bet. They can't beat New Orleans. They get swept by New Orleans, and now they're going to play Tampa twice in the next 3 weeks. Who's not playing good football right now? Come on, really? Carolina just put themselves behind the 8 ball. They almost handed the division to Tampa today, because I think Tampa's just going to beat them next week, to be honest. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, essentially, if they win that, and then Tampa, I think, has New Orleans. I want to say the week, but no, they have Miami. They go to Miami. Yeah, essentially, next week could be for the division.
And who knows who Miami is playing? If they lose Monday night, they're done. So Miami could say to Tua and Waddle and those players and HN, they could be looking at other players for the future. So that might not be such a tough game for Tampa.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the wild card games finishing out. Seattle, of course, big matchup Thursday night with the Rams. San Francisco, another big win for them. Green Bay taking the loss in Denver, that second half collapse. Jordan Love did not look good in that second half. Again, the Micah injury is going to hurt their defense going forward. I still think that they can sneak in. I don't see any seed other than the NFC South team. I don't see any seed in the playoffs not being a double-digit win team.
Chicago, if Green Bay beats Chicago Saturday night, then Green Bay is going to win that division. Because Chicago still has to play Detroit, who could be playing for a wild card spot. Who's the other game they got?
Green Bay next week. They also have the 49ers.
Okay. So
Wow.
at San Francisco?
At San Francisco.
So that's not an easy last 2 games for them. San Francisco, Detroit. Detroit could be playing for something. San Francisco definitely is playing for something. If the Rams lose to Seattle and San Francisco wins, San Francisco's a game out of the division with 2 games left. So they got something to play for. So it's not set in stone yet that they are a wild card. They could win the division easily. So
yeah, 3 teams. I think Danny said it earlier. 3 teams in the NFC West. That might be the division that has the team going to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and Tampa or Carolina is the sacrificial lamb in the playoffs this year. They're the 9-8, 8-9, 4 seed that's playing Seattle or the Rams and is going to get.
I can also see.
demolished.
I could also say the same thing to either Philadelphia or Dallas at this point.
Yep.
Because that winner of that division's likely matching up with whoever finishes third in that division, whether it's Chicago or no, not Chicago, whether it's
San Francisco or
Seattle, San Francisco, Seattle, or the Rams. Yeah.
The Final Four in the NFC could be the 3 West teams and Green Bay or Chicago. That could be the Final Four in the NFC. It's highly likely that that's what happens. So Again, I think the NFC champion's coming out of the West this year. The Rams, the Seahawks, or the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see Green Bay or Chicago beating those teams. I can't see Philadelphia beating those teams. So I think you're looking at Rams, Seahawks, Niners as the champion.
Get one more question before we go on to our game balls here. Where does Kansas City go forward from here? You're not going to have Patrick Mahomes, not only for the rest of this year, but for probably a good chunk of next year. Kelsey might retire.
That's the
Who
first question I think that has to be asked. Is Kelsey coming back? If the answer is no, is Noah Gray a good replacement for him? Probably not. The next question is who's the starting quarterback? Is it Minshew? Are they going to draft somebody? There's a lot of questions in Kansas City right now. And
is
I
Andy
asked it
Reid going to
earlier.
stay? Is Andy Reid going to stay?
That's the question I asked, and Tanner was like, he's staying. Are we sure about that? Do we know? I think he's staying. But are we sure that he really is going to stay? Or is he going to say, you know what, I had a great career. I'm going to walk off now and be done with it. I don't know. But Kansas City has a lot of stuff to answer. Um, and that's
Danny
what
saved 49ers Lions NFC Championship game. I think that's a possibility, but I think
that's possible.
Detroit has to be a playoff team first.
If Detroit loses one more game, they're just about gone. They're out. So, um, yeah, that's what Kansas City. That's my question with Kansas City. And this is usually what happens when a dynasty falls. Is there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and it was the same with the Patriots when they fell and Brady left, and it's going to be the same thing with the Chiefs. How effective is Mahomes going to be coming off an ACL tear? Is Kelsey back with the team? What does their receiving core look like next year, too? Worthy will be back. Rice will be back after that. Who's going to be there? Nobody knows. So there's a lot of questions that need to be addressed.
This is going to be
So,
an interesting offseason for sure.
yes, for them.
Great feeling. This is going to be a very interesting offseason.
Yep.
Going into next year.
I agree.
And they got another CBA thing, I think, down the road that they're going to have to start talking about with the NFL, which the NFL is going to probably figure it out in like a couple months and make sure that they don't lose games. So,
no doubt.
All right. Who are you giving your 2 game balls for today, Scott?
I only have one tonight, and it's to the Chiefs. I mean, for a decade, the Chiefs have been the standard bearer in the NFL. And now they're out of the playoffs, and now they have to retool. So to me, when a dynasty like this is done, I think you have to give them their respect and their and plenty of tip of the hat to them. So the Chiefs are my game ball, and that'll be the only game ball I give tonight. There were plenty of performances that were great today. Puka was great. Stafford was great. J.J. McCarthy was solid. The Bills' second half defense was great, but I think on a day like this, when the Chiefs, who have been in the top team in the AFC for a decade, I think you got to kind of tip your hat and say, great job to those guys. When Mahomes came, they were really good. They got even better, and I think that now the questions start to be asked. What's Mahomes going to be like? What's Andy Reid's status? Is Kelsey coming back, or is he done? Is the defense Spagnuolo, is he going to come back, or is he going to take another job someplace? Who knows? I mean, all these questions need to be asked. They'll be answered in the offseason. But again, what you see the next 3 weeks is not the Chiefs that we've seen for a decade. So, Chiefs are my game ball.
Danny saying Kyle Pitts and Josh Allen. Kyle Pitts Thursday night. Yep. Welcome to the NFL, Kyle Pitts. Where have you been?
Right.
My 2 picks here are going to go to 2 quarterbacks who I think have gotten a lot of hate over the course of this season and in years prior. Trevor Lawrence, 20-32, 330, 5 touchdowns. I know it was the Jets, but great performance from him. Jaguars, again, surprise team this year, leading the division. Not sure how good they'll be in the postseason, but they could be a tough out. And then CJ Stroud, 22, 29, 260, 3 touchdowns today, again, against an Arizona Cardinals team. I get it, but both of these guys had great performances. A lot of people have been, kind of poo-pooing on their performances lately. Stroud coming off injury. Lawrence just has been very inconsistent throughout the most of his career. This is his best year. By far, this is Trevor Lawrence's best year as an NFL pro. So,
I thought you were going with Kenny Pickett, Allen. I really did.
nah, Kenny Pickett let me down today. Kenny Pickett, small hands Pickett let me down today.
Did he even stand a chance today? That was the question.
Probably not.
Probably not. So, agreed.
So, looking ahead, we did get a flex earlier in this week, Scott. So, Sunday night, your Patriots go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens fighting for the AFC North still, and you guys are trying to keep away from Buffalo to win the AFC East.
So if the Patriots win Sunday night, I think they win the division because Buffalo has Philadelphia, who needs to win that game to keep their, to try to get to the 2 seed. The further you go in NFC without facing the Rams and Seahawks, the better you are as a team. So you don't want to be the 3 seed if you can help it. You want to try to get to the 2, even though they're on different sides of the bracket. You still want to get to the 2 because you want to have 2 home playoff games, not 1 and then have to go on the road. So my belief is because the Patriots have the Jets and Dolphins in the last 2 weeks. So if they win against Baltimore next week, I think they're the division champions and at worst the 2 seed. So I don't think Jacksonville's going to overtake them. So it's a big game for the Ravens too. The Ravens need to win these games too. If Pittsburgh wins next week, wins tomorrow night, they're a game up, and the Steelers and the Ravens still play. So the Ravens need to win that game next Sunday too. So it's going to be a really good game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar's looking a little bit better every week here. So
yeah. Pittsburgh also plays Detroit on the road next Sunday, so that's going to be
where
the
the
rough
Ravens can. Yeah, so the Ravens will know going into that game next week what they need to do to either take the division away from the Steelers or keep pace. So it'll be a good game. Next week.
Jaguars Broncos low key could be a really good game next week too.
That will be. It's in Jacksonville.
It's in Denver, but it still could be a very low key, pretty good game.
Yeah, that's for the Jaguars to keep the 3 spot in the AFC, because if they lose it, no, they can't. They won't fall. That's to keep the lead actually, because Houston has the
tiebreaker, and because they play the Raiders.
Okay.
Texans beat the Raiders. Broncos beat the Jaguars. I think the Texans would then leapfrog the Jaguars to have the division lead. So,
who on earth wants to play the Houston Texans in the playoffs? Not anybody right now.
That, to me, Scott, this might sound a little crazy. That might be the AFC Super Bowl team this year, is the Houston Texans.
Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me. The best defense in the AFC, with Seattle, the best defense in the NFL. And CJ Stroud looks like he's back to his rookie year, CJ Stroud. So, yeah, who wants to play this team in the playoffs? Not me. I do not want to see them on the Patriots schedule. And if they're the 3 seed, the Patriots are going to see them. They better hope they get to the 1 seed, the Patriots, because they will see them in the second round of the playoffs if that's the case. So,
and you mentioned Buffalo's receiving core is not the best. Looking at their matchup next week, they're playing Cleveland, in Cleveland, and you know how usually when you're looking at the ESPN scores, they have like the leading receiver, quarterback, rusher, all that good stuff.
Yep.
The leading receiver out of all that groupings is a rookie tight end by the name of Harold Fannin Jr.
Yes, he is.
for the
He is.
Cleveland Browns. Out of
Yep.
everybody in this grouping, it is the rookie tight end for the Cleveland Browns. That is how bad the Buffalo Bills receiving core is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Dawson Knox had 2 touchdowns today against the Patriots. Dawson Knox. So
Who?
yeah, who? That's right. Who?
Kind of like John Oliver last week for the Vikings catching 3 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah,
who?
yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I mean, that's what happens when you don't want to pay a receiver to come to Buffalo. So
All right. And then finally, potentially the game of the year going into next week. Thursday Night Football, Rams going to Seattle to face the Seahawks. You called them the best defense in the NFL against probably the best offense in the NFL with the Rams. Although Devontae did get hurt today, his status is going to be up in the air.
oh, great.
Which
Another injury to deal with. Great.
But yeah, this is not only a matchup for the NFC West, but potentially the number 1 seed in the NFC.
If Devontae's out, I lean Seahawks. If Devontae plays, I love the Rams. I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's how confident I am in them. So if Devontae is not hurt badly and he played, although short week, I'm not sure, but it's the Seattle Seahawks. Devontae's going to want to play. I would lean toward the Rams if Devontae play. Again, if Devontae plays. If Devontae doesn't, I think they're just going to bracket Puka and try to shut him down, and Stafford's going to have to go someplace else. I don't know if he can or not. So keep an eye on the injury reports if you're a Rams or Seahawks backer or Devontae Adams fantasy owner, because if he's out there, you got a better shot at winning. If he's not, you're in trouble. So
Yep. Right now, the Rams are a 1.5 favorites. Rams 5-2 on the road. Seahawks 5-2 at home.
if you bet and jump on the Seahawks now, just in case, because if Devontae's ruled out, say Tuesday, that spread is gonna flip right away. Seahawks will be favored. So I'd grab it now, be just in case. Don't put a lot of money on it. Put a little bit of money on it, and then as the week goes on, see where the spread goes. But again, I'm a Devontae Adams guy, so.
And just so you know, Scott, I just looked it up. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, disrespect. Total disrespect. Total disrespect. I have no opinion on the game yet. I will soon, though. I will soon.
Yeah. Tampa's the favorite against Carolina already. The Saints are actually favored against the Jets. That's crazy.
The Saints have what do the Saints have? 5 wins?
4.
3 are against Carolina and Tampa Bay.
Poor Jonathan, just going through it.
He posted on the baseball Twitter account about the Saints. I think he's not happy. He's not a happy man.
No. Kansas City, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, is a 3.5-point favorite. They're playing at Tennessee next week. So
that's the only reason why they're a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah. There's you a third win, Sam. There's you a third win.
That's right. It's coming. They'll beat the Chiefs without Mahomes. They will win that game. Because Gardner Minshew gives me no confidence that he's going to win the game. And I hate saying it because, Tanner's a Chiefs fan and stuff like that, but I mean, how do you replace that guy? You can't replace that guy.
Yeah, nope. So yeah, next Sunday night we'll be here talking about Scott's Patriots either in victory formation or in defeat as they play Baltimore.
Or I'll be very depressed out on the show next week.
I know you guys got fall start Thursdays on Thursday, right, Scott?
Yep. Yep.
And then we'll be back for Lock It In over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, depending on whether or not work has me scheduled at not at 9:30 or not.
It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time.
I
Ours,
get that, but it was also like 15 degrees outside this morning. I was not happy to be out in that cold. So
it's only about 8 degrees up here, and it was snowing all day. So
yeah, it's 24 right now. So yeah, it's been a cold day today.
just in case people, a little inside for we're weathermen first and foremost on the show. So
Yeah. If you've ever seen our baseball show, we are weathermen first, sports reporters second.
Jonathan's in flannels and a sweatshirt right now. He's probably so cold.
Like literally, Scott, you go back to this episode Wednesday. The first thing we talked about is like, oh yeah, it's not cold enough for me to wear a sweater yet, but I'm pretty sure it's coming.
Why am I not surprised?
Yes. So yes, for your accurate weather forecast, tune into the Sunday night postgame show.
Yes. We'll 10-day forecast on the threes.
Yeah, covering the entire United States area, everywhere from Oklahoma to New England.
Yes.
Oh man. Anything else, Scott, before we end off tonight, sir?
No, that's it. Everybody have a good night.
All right, guys. We'll be back next Sunday night following the Patriots Ravens game. Until then, love y'all. Stay safe. Have a great night and take care.